Jamali presents
You're delighted with yourself.
Mike and Vittorio's Guide to Parento.
Oh! Boys!
We're starting.
Show business.
Enjoy your life.
Bye, Jamali.
Lovely. Look at
Jamali's
that.
leaving to become a missionary in Africa.
That
in
cost
Kenya.
us thousands of pounds.
Thousands of pounds
That
now.
introduction.
Yeah.
Good God, it's £1,000 a word.
Yeah, well,
this woman.
Well, she is an illustrious entertainer. I won't say what aspect of entertainment she works in,
Plumbing.
but
She's a plumber.
plumbing, yes, but kind of a dancing plumber that people hire to come in, and so she's kind of like fixing people's shitters, but also moving her hips quite a bit.
People's shitters, isn't it? Your shitter can be your ass or your toilet.
It can be your ass or your toilet, depending on the man, depending on the moment. I always thought it's because it's just such a horrible way to refer to a toilet.
It's a more horrible way to refer to a beautiful woman's bottom.
But absolutely.
Jeez, you have a lovely shitter.
Jesus, that's one of the finest shitters now I've seen in a long spring's evening. Is that shitter? It is. It's absolutely horrendous. But do you know the way, like, have you ever, like, you know men who are, like, so rawly horny, they make these, like, Faustian deals with the devil just to, like, have sex with them. They'd be like, I'd eat a mile of her shite just to get to her arse.
Yes, yeah, I'd crawl through a river of glass just to hear her fart through a walkie-talkie.
That's right. And it's just like, maybe just ask her to go to the cinema.
Yeah,
Do you know
maybe
what I mean?
that. People like the cinema and
Yes.
the park.
That's right. We went to the cinema.
We went to the cinema.
Oh.
The cinema.
Yeah, the cinema. That's nice. Sinners, brother.
And I got called racist, not at the cinema, but for my review of the film on Letterboxd. I
Yeah.
got called racist by many people on the internet.
Yeah.
Sinners. We went to see Sinners.
Yeah, we did. We went to see Shinners.
Very different film. Very different film. Martin McGuinness and Jerry Adams
Yeah.
set up a pub in Fermanagh.
Yeah. And black zombies. Black zombies.
Black Protestant zombies.
Yeah. Are trying to kill him. So the movie Sinners, and we won't linger on it too long. You obviously you went online. You were outspoken in your.
I do this. I have a Letterboxd account, which
Yeah.
we've discussed Letterboxd on this podcast before. Because YouTube comedy specials are on there, which
Yeah.
feels not right.
No.
Sort of, but like YouTube, I don't know. Like just it's brutal.
Yeah.
There's already a comment section. Just let that be the Letterboxd.
That's all right.
You know, I don't need star ratings as well.
No.
That's the beauty of the YouTube comedy special. You get away from the star ratings, but you have the Faustian pact is the comment section.
That's right.
Whereas if you have a Netflix special, you maybe get reviewed and viewed as like, you know, held to a higher standard maybe, but then you don't have to deal with the comment section.
Yes.
So it's like, we shouldn't be subjected to
No,
these
that's
Letterboxd
right.
reviews.
Get us off Letterboxd. We've been trapped in Letterboxd. We've been held hostage on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Our specials. Free us. But you go on there now and you said, what did you say about black people? What were you saying? You had some beef.
I know, I just said 2 stars.
You said they were getting ahead of themselves.
They shouldn't be owning pubs.
Right.
They're playing that that jumpy music that
Yeah.
they like. I didn't like any one
That
bit
jimbo
of it.
jumbo music you were saying. That bloody
I couldn't
mumbo
understand
jumbo.
a word that they were saying.
I was with the cinema. He just kept screaming at the screen, mumbo jumbo.
This is okay. I'm glad they're kind of.
What are you doing now?
This is the.
Put your phone away.
I'm looking at my review of Sinners.
Okay.
I tried so hard to like this, but it's truly one of the dumbest things ever.
Yeah.
If this is what saves cinema, then cinema deserves to die. A complete soup of incongruous ideas. Imagine Django crossed with lesbian vampire killers, but the lesbians are Irish.
Right.
Hot dog shit.
Yeah.
It's only getting 2 stars on the slimmest possibility that it's supposed to be a complete farce. If so, still not funny enough.
Right. So here's what I would say. First off, and someone alluded to this online, your description of it Django mixed with
Lesbian Vampire Killers?
sounds so class, for one thing. That sound, like, you read that and you're like, oh my God, this sounds absolutely amazing. And the vampires are Irish. Unreal. You're like, that is one of the best descriptions of a movie I've ever heard. Now, what I will say is this. I was watching Sinners, which it was me, you, Rob, Hamish, Elliot was there.
Finlay Christie was supposed to be there.
He was.
Had I bought him a ticket? Yes.
Yeah, that's right. But
He had to go look at a curtain. That was actually his excuse.
He had to go check his stocks or something. But boo, shut up, fuck off. Now, I really liked it. Elliot really liked it.
No, you didn't.
I did like it,
No,
yeah.
you didn't.
Lad,
No, you didn't.
you don't
I was annoyed at you for the first half of the film.
Yeah.
For being so adolescently sneering about how shit it was.
I
'Cause
wasn't sneering.
I was still giving it a chance.
No, you don't. Look, and I will say this, and it was interesting to be in the movie there. I was laughing at stuff that was ridiculous, but I was genuinely enjoying it. I mean, like, I can't...
But you weren't laughing at the funny bits.
No.
You were laughing at bits that were shit.
No, it's not that they're shit. It's just making me laugh. It's like, I love Interstellar, right? I think it's one of the most moving films I've ever seen. I'm genuinely laughing out loud several times in the movie at just stuff being dumb. And like...
I don't understand how it can be laughably bad, but then...
I know,
or laughably dumb, but then you think it's a good film.
So this is what I'm saying. I would both laugh at how stupid Interstellar is and genuinely be bawling at the end. Both things can exist. It just either captures you emotionally or not, but there are parts that
but
are
if
like...
you cry at the end of Sinners, you are highly regarded.
Listen, I was honest to God, there was a moment near the end where he's there and he's looking at his wife with the baby and she's like in heaven and he's a winter. I teared up. I'll be honest, I teared up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Kugler's played you like a flute.
Kugler played me like an Irish flute, brother. He really did.
Demonic Irish flute.
He fucking did.
Oh my God. If you haven't seen Sinners, don't watch it, but we're going to spoil all of it.
I thought, here's just what I will say on Sinners. I just thought it was a load of fucking fun. I was entertained from start to finish. I thought the scene where they're singing Rocky Road to Dublin
was one of the stupidest things in the whole world.
I think that's class. I thought when they were singing like "Go Lassie Go," they're outside saying, "I love it." Why is this not fun? They're vampires singing.
What do you
Irish
mean
folk
fun?
tunes.
What's fun? Well, I don't understand fun.
Cool.
Like, what do you mean? What's cool about that?
Because it's atmospheric. It's fun. It's like, why the fuck are they singing an Irish song? This is sick.
It's just frothy nonsense.
It's not, lad. But also you have to think of, like, you know, on some level, what the vampires are representing is like, you know, a different style. So like, we'll say that the black people, it's the blues and all this. And then opposite that is folk music, which would be like what Bob Dylan made very famous, but like Woody Guthrie, all these
What
people.
the fuck's happened to your mic?
What? It's not.
Have you unplugged your microphone?
No.
Talk again?
Hello.
Why the fuck is that happening?
I have no idea.
It was working. I checked it was working.
Hello.
Have you broken your microphone?
I haven't done anything.
What's wrong with Jamali? Yeah, something's broken.
Hello.
There's a kink in the microphone cable. No, I don't think that's why. Talk again.
Yo.
What the fuck? That's working.
This is working. Lovely.
Hang on.
This one?
Yeah.
We don't need to start again. You're not doing another Jamali Presents.
Jamali.
No, we didn't need that for the sake of a new microphone.
Nice.
That's crazy talk.
Right.
Okay, back to the worst film of the year.
Right. So,
I can't get my head around this perspective you have of like, I'm sorry if I don't know what we've missed or not missed, but you won't have missed much. So
Yeah.
they're singing Rocky Road to Dublin and Go La. And part of me was like, if you're American and have never heard these songs before, I was thinking like, is this what Native Americans think when they're watching Killers of the Flower Moon? Where they're just hearing songs they like kind of grew up with and are a bit like, this is kind of cringe and weird that they're singing this. You know?
yeah.
Like, so Americans watching, like, who've never heard Rocky Road to Dublin,
Yeah.
like, might think it's cool and atmospheric, but I'm very surprised that you thought it was cool.
I've heard it my whole life and I thought it was deadly. I thought it was class, and I thought your man doing a little Irish dancing. I'm just like, this is cool. The big fat lad who'd become...
I don't understand your definition of cool.
It's just fun. I've not seen it before. It's entertaining. It's different. It's like, yes, this is a movie.
You were laughing at it.
Swings are beat. I know, lad. When he's singing Rocky Road to Dublin, one of the big fat lads who's become a vampire is dancing like this. It's funny. It's funny.
But it's not supposed to be funny.
I don't give a shit. I'm still can find something funny and enjoyable.
This is part of the interesting thing about this film is Jamali went to see it and is convinced it's supposed to be a complete farce, piss take. Like, and it's all supposed to be laughably stupid.
I think it's clearly camp and over the top.
This word camp.
What?
Papers over a lot of cracks. People keep saying it about films. People said it about Challengers. People are saying it about... It's camp. Oh, what? So now if I don't like it, I'm homophobic?
Yeah.
Well, then call you.
Oh, no way. Again. What the hell? Who the hell am I talking to over here? What in God? I'm down in the deep south of Mississippi with your little fucking red fucking bigot hat on, saying the F word again. What in God's name? When me and Elliot were talking about being gay, you were sitting there, you'd fucking be in your bonnet big time. Every word we said through another fucking little thorn in your mind, you're like, what's going on with you? What the hell? You keep looking gayer and becoming more homophobic. It's crazy. You couldn't look more like an 80s fucking...
Like if I'd be on your t-shirt.
That's right. You'd be fucking absolute catnip to George Michael. And then suddenly the gayer you're getting, then the more vehemently homophobic. Listen...
The number of comments we got on that clip of you two talking about all the gay stuff.
Yeah.
Of people who just sincerely thought I was gay.
Yeah.
In the comments being like, why is he being weird about this?
Right. Of course.
He's the gay one.
That's what people would assume. Me and you. Who's the gay one? You.
Why is that? My fashion sense?
Yeah, and
the mustache?
The mustache, the general kind of like your kind of gay views on everything.
What are my gay views?
Just
This is homophobic. You're being homophobic.
I'm not being homophobic.
This is what you think gay
I'm
people
homophobic.
sound like?
I couldn't be more pro-gay. I fucking raised a gay brother. I raised my brother to be gay. I've shifted men myself. Oh, lad, let me tell you this. So I was on this stag in Leitrim in Carrick and Shannon. And so we were all there at this bar anyway. And anyway, we're drinking. There's, I
read a statistic that more Irish people have been to Spain than have been to Leitrim.
That's, of course. I mean, that's the most unsurprising statistic ever. Who's saying, pack up the Jeep, we're off to Leitrim? Why would we do that?
You went on a stag to Leitrim, I don't know.
I know, but that was just, I think, out of like, sheer kind of, isn't this funny that we're going to Leitrim?
Yeah.
And this is so stupid.
Yeah, it feels like the Titan... The submarine people.
That's kind
of... I'd love to see the bottom of the sea.
That's right.
No one's ever been there before.
There was a real air of the submersible about this stag.
Yeah, uncharted territory.
Yes. But it's this place, Carrick and Shannon in Leitrim, which is like on the border of Mayo and stuff. But it's a big stag spot. Anyway, I got there.
So is the Phoenix Park.
Nice. Pretty sick. A deer joke. You didn't think you'd see any deer humor today, but this is why people think you're gay. You keep making jokes about deer. So anyway, I was in Carrick and Shannon. I arrived in Knock Airport. Have you ever arrived there?
Yes, Knock Airport's a good laugh. Like, just the whole story. For the people who listen who don't know Knock Airport, give it a goog. It's very... fun as a story that a priest was just like, I'm gonna build an airport, fuck you.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
And it's just for the Pope coming, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for the Pope visiting, and then it was for Lourdes?
Yeah, it was something to do with Jesus anyway. It was it's a big Jesus airport, and when you come in, you feel, it
was illegal.
Huh?
It was illegal when he built it.
Yeah, I
He
did
didn't
know
get
that.
any of the permits or anything. He just started. I don't know. If somebody said, right, Mike, here's a plot of land, build
Yeah.
an airport. What do you do?
Listen, lad. I don't know. I can't put up a shelf. When you said today you got shelves up, I was like, how'd you do that? Who do I get? And you were
There's
like,
so many shelves at the airport.
it's unbelievable.
It's like an airplane shelf.
That's right.
Like I can't.
Yeah.
Would you
can't-
just start digging? Like, would you just start digging?
You'd have to get a shovel out and be like, I don't know, what are you doing? Building an airport. I don't know. I don't know. Someone start putting bricks over there.
Laying the groundwork for an airport.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I've told you, I look around the world often and I just think, thank God someone else did everything.
Thank God for tradespeople.
But thank God someone, do you ever look around and just be like, thank God I arrived on the earth when all this was done?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Imagine you had to be there for the invention of the wheel, the roads, the electricity.
Although part of me does think,
You know.
very easy to be an inventor back then.
Right.
Just to be like, I keep having to pick up all this food with my hand.
Right.
Let's put a little round thing on the end of a stick.
It was easy to be an incredibly influential historical figure. Sit down in a rock and be like, chair.
Chair, brother.
Brother, chair.
Look at this. Look at
That's
this.
right.
And then somebody goes, oh, it's quite hard though. And then they put a bunch of leaves together. Cushion.
Yeah, get a stick, hit someone with it. Weapon.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
There we go.
You're a thinker, you're an innovator, you're changing the tides of time. Now,
Some people think chimpanzees are entering the Stone Age, which I find quite frightening.
they are entering, as in like,
Because they're starting to use like rocks to like open coconuts and do all this stuff. So it's like they're getting the basics of tools
right.
on some level.
Honestly, in Leitrim, I feel like they're entering the Stone Age when I was there. I think that's where they've got to, most of them.
Yes.
We're starting to use stones
Yes.
to open things. But what I was going to get to about being in Leitrim, so we were there anyway. Listen, and I know a woman commented under one of our YouTube things. She's like, I don't like how cocaine is being brought into normal speech about nights out. Well, unfortunately.
Somebody commented on a clip of mine recently, I think related to this, where they said the more cocaine you do, the worse you get at comedy. And I have done cocaine once ever.
Yeah.
And it was years ago.
Right.
So I don't know what part of the podcast they've listened to where they think I'm doing loads of coke. I'm doing no coke.
I think by osmosis they think like I'm sweating out
Secondhand
cocaine
coke?
onto you. That you're inhaling secondhand coke. That you're sniffing secondhand coke by being in my orbit.
You do make me very anxious.
Yeah. And I think that you have to assume
Is the cocaine.
there's some kind of
Airborne
meth.
cocaine.
There's meth. You're ingesting meth by being around me. And it's making you maybe come up with a lot of ideas, but overall feel quite unsettled.
Yeah, that is how I feel around you, generally, I would say.
Yeah.
But I would like to clarify, I'm not one of these cokey boys.
No.
deliberately, you know, I'm
He's
just being
listen. Either am I.
I'm a
will say.
loser.
Huh?
I'm a loser.
Yeah, you're not cool. You're not a rock star. You're not throwing TVs out of hotel room windows.
Like you just said, oh, you've got your birthday party coming up, and I said yes, and you're like that. Like you were saying, you hadn't been out on a mad one recently. You were like, oh, we've got your birthday drinks, and I sort of in my head went, right, well, that's not going to be a mad one, though, is it?
Well, wait till you see how much drugs I'm bringing to the party, brother. And then you're going to see, I'm going to turn it into a 3-ring fucking circus. It's going to be Foster's Circus by the time I'm finished with that party. Poppers and everyone's drinks. Just listen, no, he's not. And do you know what? Generally, I talk about it as if it's something I do all the time. I don't. It's a couple of times a year on occasions, and the price I'm starting to pay is cosmic. But anyway,
Not financial.
No.
We're talking about
spiritual,
many infections,
physical.
a lot of antibiotics needed.
Oh, lad. So listen,
Drugs lead to drugs.
lad. Listen to this shit now.
Coke's a gateway drug to antibiotics for you.
Oh, yeah, honestly, it is. One leads to the other. It's a nasty little cycle. So. But that night on the dance floor, so there's a bit of Charlie going around, but most people there now are good people. They're not doing it or anything, but just to kind
On
of
the stag.
yeah, the more demonic side of the stag are doing
The
a bit.
vampires, they're outside. You haven't invited them in yet.
The fuckers that are there Irish dancing and singing the Rocky Road to Dublin. So I was there on the dance floor, right? And I've taken a bit of Charlie, having a few drinks. Like, we're all getting absolutely fucking shit-faced, by the way. It's not just pints, it's Jaeger bombs, shots. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? You're just, you are polluting your head. You are just polluting your
Jaeger bombs
fucking
are
mind.
such a crazy drink.
Yeah, like your mind is like a fucking urban, like the River Thames or something. That level of pollution is just fog, smog. You're fucked. But so I was out on the dance floor. There's like these women like dancing out there, and I was like in my little head, I'm drunk enough. I was like, I'll pull all of these women. I'll just go here and like I'll have
And
sex
you're
with
blaming
all
the
of them.
drunk on that rather than the cocaine. That feels like a cocaine-y
It was a
thought.
pretty cocaine-y thought. The cocaine.
That's the confidence of cocaine.
The cocaine and the whiskey at this point are doing kind of are doing a salsa dance together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm on the dance floor anyway, and I'm kind of dancing with these ladies in my head. I'm like, by God, there's 4 of them, one of me. What a party we will have! And next thing anyway, this just wild gay fella just pops into the little shaved head and him kind of small. He's like, just pops onto the dance floor, and he just starts coming up to me, and he's just like dancing. He's just busting his arse into me, like this, busting his arse. And I was like,
grinding up against you.
But lamping his arse into me, like, I mean,
Wow.
like just dumping it back, like whipping it, like fucking Cardi B or something. He's like,
Like one of those giraffes, you know, that have you ever seen giraffes fighting?
Yes.
They like whip their neck into each other, but he was doing that with his ass.
Just doing it with his arse, just whapped it into me. And I was, sure, listen, I was 3 sheets to the wind. I said, sure, look, when in Rome, whatever. I wasn't going to.
When in Leitrim.
When in Leitrim. Listen, we're in the Stone Age. We've gone back in time. You know, electricity hasn't been invented. You have to lamp your arse into people for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So he's doing that, and I'm like, all right, you know, whatever. I'm still trying to dance with the women. We're having fun. And next thing he starts kind of like coming up to my face and trying to shift me. I said, go away out of that now, you little idiot. I can't be doing that. Do you know what I mean? So he's kind of trying to do that. And I had to like put my arm around him. I was like, lad, I was like, look, we're all having fun. I'm not gay. So just, you know, and sure, I might as well have been whispering into an oak tree. It didn't make it different. I might have been whispering
If anything, it probably made it worse.
I might as well have been whispering my secrets to a worm, right? So I'm saying this to him, but sure, that only drives him on more. And then at some point, I wasn't looking, and he came up and literally lobbed the gob at me from the side. Like, I was like, you dirty
He
idiot.
caught you unawares.
He did.
God.
And talking about, I was like, lad, my friends see this now. They'll have me lynched. What are you doing? So anyway, he does that, and then I'm dancing, and at one stage, he's just like backing up kind of into me. On this stage, I'm like, lad. But then there was one point I was just like, part of me was just like, do you know, he's giving it such a go here, you know.
You've got to respect the entrepreneurial spirit.
Like, is there party that's just like, give the guy a break? He's after breaking his arse here to try to get a bit. Sure,
And he's in Leitrim.
and
Like,
he's
he's having a tough time.
He's in Leitrim. Sure, the fucking pickings are slim. Surely would I let him have an suck on my flute or something? Give the young man a break.
Yeah.
But honestly, part of me was like, and this is in the Charlie-filled mind as well, where I was just like, sure, how different would it be riding this lad to riding your one over there? Sure, wouldn't it be half the same thing? But then
Kenny holds a goal.
well, kind of, you know. And I was like, sure, it'd mean the world to him. And wouldn't I be doing the lad a real old
Are
solid?
you about to tell me you fucked
No,
the man in
no,
Leitrim?
because
Is that
then
what's about to happen?
no. Sure, then it just came to a point. I was like, my friends were outside smoking fags. You know what I mean? Talking about childhood trauma. I was like, I better go out and join that.
That's what stag
brigade.
do's are for.
That's what stag do's are for.
Smoking fags, talking about childhood trauma.
Breakups. My father didn't love me when we were, you know, we've drifted as friends. What's happened? These kind of conversations, we're getting it all out there. We're having fun. It was a great time. The stag. I had so much fun. I do have a bit of fear over it because I was up till about 6, can't quite remember going to bed, woke up fully clothed, had a flight again from Knock at 1 o'clock, woke up 10:30.
Did you have to pay the knock tax?
What's the Knock tax?
To get into Knock Airport, you just have to pay them a tenner.
Oh yeah.
It's the most Catholic church thing of all
Yeah.
time. On the way into departures at Knock Airport, if you've never been, it's unbelievable. You have to
Yeah.
grease a few palms.
That's right.
It's crazy. You drop off your big suitcase if you got one, but if you don't, you just walk up to the gate and they go,
Yeah.
€15.
That's right. You did have to pay that. You did have to pay it.
For
just...
upkeep of the airport?
It's the mafia. It's
the Soul Catholic Church. It's a collection plate at a fucking airport.
At an airport.
An illegal airport.
Absolutely.
It's mob rules.
It's extortion.
Yeah.
It's complete extortion. And I tell you, they have a monopoly, the taxis, when I arrived in Knock.
Oh.
So it was like I had to get a taxi to Carrick and Shannon. There's no other way. And I ended up haggling with this fella, McNulty, Henry McNulty. And I says, listen here, McNulty, how much to get to Carrick and Shannon? And he's like €100. And I was like, McNulty, there's not a chance of it. You'll get 80 quid. He says, €100. 90 quid, McNulty. €100. 95 McNulty. And I'll go no higher. He's like €100. I was like, take your blood money, McNulty. He wouldn't budge.
That's so funny. You can haggle down a taxi driver
McNulty wouldn't take a euro off it.
I did good haggling at the airport recently.
Did you?
What in an arena where I thought haggling was impossible,
right?
But I don't really know why I took a punt. Well, actually, I do know why I took a punt on it. I was at fuck knows airport, like one of the London ones, when I was flying to Toronto.
Yeah,
and the first flight was just to Dublin, and then it was on to Toronto. And I was going in. I'd recently lost my headphones, like my over-ear noise cancelling headphones, which I'm trying to use less. But for long flights, you need these boys, and they can connect to the thing, and it's like they're important for my life for a long flight. So I was like, the plan was I'm just gonna go buy some at the airport, gonna be grand. So I go to the little Jessop's, maybe it wasn't Jessop's, In Motion, one of those type of like airport tech places. I go in and I'm sort of looking around at the headphones, and they're I was just gonna buy the same pair of headphones that I've always had. They're nice. They're a fair whack more expensive than I've ever paid for them.
What are they trying to take off you?
I was like, this is kind of what? And I think one of the staff members kind of saw me looking angry at the headphones.
You were just there frowning at you were grimacing at the headphones.
Yeah. He comes over and goes, let me know if I can help you with anything.
You were starting on the headphones. You were trying to pick a fight.
He goes, even queries about price or anything, just let me know. And then he kind of walks away, and I went, queries about price, and then I started assembling my evidence for
queries, and then that brought up your homophobia again.
Yeah, I was ready to fight. So I started building my case for my haggling, because I thought, this is mad to try and haggle at the airport. This isn't a souk in Morocco.
No way.
This is the airport. The stuff costs what it costs, and it costs too much.
Yeah.
Here, and you don't get to fuck around with it. So I get up the Bose website, and I find the headphones that they're selling, and they are £100 cheaper on the Bose website than they are at this shop. And I just went over to the guy and went, look, this is a bit mad, but your Bose headphones seem to be £100 more expensive than the same headphones on the Bose website.
Yeah.
What's the crack? And he was like, yeah, I reckon I can justify that to my manager. I'll charge you what it costs from the Bose website.
Oh!
£100 cheaper headphones.
You're joking.
At the airport.
How you got them?
Unbelievable.
Success.
Unbelievable.
What the fuck?
Haggling at the airport.
You're lucky you didn't fucking run into McNulty at the fucking airport.
Oh, good God. If he worked at In Motion, I would have been
You would have ended up paying £50 more.
Yeah.
McNulty is
you're haggling so funny.
The man
Did you not even threaten to walk away at any point? I guess he's the only cunt.
The McNulty was the only one. He knew the power he had. McNulty was filled with the confidence of a man.
What, are you going to get an Uber, are you?
That's what he said. He
Go
said,
fuck yourself.
yeah, there's no buses from here. There's no other way to get to Carrick and Shannon. I'm the only taxi driver here. I've been driving it for 40 years. It's 100 quid. You can swivel on my thumb, you little cunt. That was literally the attitude. McNulty sold it. But then we had a great chat. Me and McNulty.
I'm sure.
He sat up in the front seat. McNulty asked me questions about myself. He was interested.
Yes, McNulty sounds like the type of taxi driver that would be annoyed if you got in the back.
Oh, no, he said sit in the front.
Yeah.
He said sit, his words, 100 quid, sit in the front there, we'll have a bit of crack. I said, do you know what, McNulty? I've had worse offers. Do you know what I mean? I paid 100 quid to a woman in Amsterdam, and it was an awful experience. I didn't quite bring that up to McNulty. But what?
Have we covered that?
We did, and I'm not going back into it. Now, you
sorry,
can
was
go
this
through
a-
the archives, and I'm not going to explain myself. Now,
Yeah, look at the well described episodes in our back catalogue where endlessly people on Patreon are like, does anyone remember the episode where this happened? Because they have one word titles and I'm sure it's very cool or whatever, but it's completely useless for finding.
maybe we should start explaining the episodes. It'd be very tough, though, because
Oh,
generally
fuck off.
the guts of 1,200 topics are covered. And nothing's finished, and there's no satisfaction, and it truly is a haphazard, stress-inducing experience.
Beckett'ian.
It's Beckett'ian. What was I going to say to you is, so anyway, I had this demented little gay fella trying to
Little gremlin.
climb me like he was a demented little gay demon. He was
Chucky.
so out of his mind, so cock hungry. It was mental. It was crazy. Ravenous.
Was he
was
having to go with
ravenous.
any of the other fellas in the stag, or was he just
I know
making a beeline for you?
If you came onto the dance floor,
You were
were
at risk.
You were fair game
Yeah, the
in this
splash
little
zone.
fucker's mind. You were getting your midriff pummeled by his buttocks, and there's only one way about it. But it is
It's a
funny.
numbers game for him.
Yeah,
It's a numbers game
It
for
is.
him. He's throwing his arse in all directions and hoping something sticks.
and there's no.
Literally shit against the wall.
But like, there's literally like, and especially after doing a little drop of Charlie, and there was one or two gay lads on the stag, and I actually, if I had my wits,
Wrong.
I had my who?
Wrong.
What?
Can't have gay lads on a stag. That's no good.
Of course you can. It's fun. And they tell you secrets about stuff, about like how to wash yourself properly and different things.
Douching.
Douching, brother.
I've never douched. It scares me.
How to clean the cave. How
I'd maybe
to
like to give it a go.
douching. Well, it's the next natural step for you, honestly.
To do everything gay apart from be gay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just be violently like homophobic, but you've literally start dressing like Gokwan, and you just become just so catty and like just that's absolute bullshit. Did you hear what Jennifer said? And you're just like but then also just like gay people getting married is disgusting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just become this crazy contradiction of a character.
I think part of the reason why I'm saying so many horrible things on the podcast recently is because I sent off my SNL UK audition tape and I don't want to get it.
Right.
It seems like a lot of hard work, and
Yeah.
I'm sort of trying to preclude myself by saying slurs on the podcast.
I think if anyone even barely scratches the surface, you're done.
I've covered my tracks.
You're
I've done the
fucked.
opposite. I've made my tracks very
Yeah,
evident.
I didn't send in the application in the end.
That's such a shame. They've extended it. Please do send one in.
oh, have they? Till when?
Which I am so fucking angry about.
What?
Can we agree that it's insane to be like, oh, we're going to give people a bit of extra time to send in their applications for Saturday Night Live, the most deadline-based show
That's right.
in the history of television?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there was ever a time of like, listen, if you don't get your application in by the deadline, maybe this isn't the
When's
gig
it been
for
extended
you.
to, though?
A couple of weeks.
No
You
way.
can get one done, I think.
Oh, nice. So maybe I will do
Because
it.
you absolutely should, because
But-
you're better suited to it than I am.
No, I don't actually agree with that. I
Oh, well,
think
different parts of it. I
different-
think I would be good at like a weekend update, but you'd be good at everything else.
Right. So I think you'd be a better writer in terms of jokes, sketches. You'd be better at Weekend Update. And you're really good at zeitgeisty stuff. And I actually, do you know what? I honestly think you'd be better suited to it. Obviously, I can do like, I'm more good at
But if you had a
being a big
beautiful
fucking
writing
idiot.
team and you were
Yeah.
hitting all your impressions, doing all your voices, your physical stuff,
Right.
and then also you denigrate your own topical zeitgeisty writing stuff, but you write about and talk about all that stuff.
Not well, yes, to a degree, but
It's not all you do,
but
obviously,
I-
but like you do it.
I will say this. Here's what happened, right? So we had to have that in, the SNL audition thing in on the Thursday. So when I went to the stag on that Friday, I had been sick for 3 weeks. The Thursday before the stag, which is the day before, I just finished a course of antibiotics for a stomach problem I had. Before that, I had like a norovirus thing for like 2.5 weeks. I was fucked. My voice was fucked. I did a gig in the Olympia with Kyla where I couldn't talk. I was fucked. I had just got over that. Just finished a course of antibiotics, just started to feel better. Then I go down to fucking Stone Age Leitrim to do Charlie and be chased around by a demented little gay fella. I'm up till 6 a.m. talking about how I didn't get enough hugs as a child. Have to go get a flight at 1 o'clock from Knock Airport with some Russian lady. I'm absolutely... This is how fucking hungover I was, right? And I'm talking my head was literally just... If you did a fucking MRI scan, just... concrete, just it's heavy. I can't think. I'm sitting there. I go through the security in Knock Airport. This is like 12 o'clock the next day. I'm flying back to London because I actually just can't do day twos. I actually cannot do them. I never...
Day twos of stags, you just do...
No,
well,
one.
you just did the Friday?
Do
and
one.
then flew out on the Saturday?
One, I go hard and I'm gone. I had a gig on Sunday.
You're not a real daytime activity guy. Although you could be. I've seen you do whitewater rafting.
Yeah, no, I do like that stuff, but this stag, no one's doing that. These are Stone Age men. This is a group of people who I organised a stag in London for my friend Grant, and then I couldn't go to the stag because I was at a funeral, and I'd organised these things for the lads to do, including on the Saturday, all paid for, a speedboat ride through London, the Thames, where you get to go. There's ways to drink before. It's like just a bit of crack. I'd heard great things about it. Booked it for all the lads. And literally when I wasn't coming, I was like, I can't go now. I have a funeral. And one of my friends, Connor, just goes, yeah, we won't be doing that speedboat thing. And I was like, why won't you be doing that? He's like, nah, we're just going to be at the standard pub for 12 hours in a row.
I hate that shit. I hate that shit so much. Live a bit. Like, you can go to the pub whenever. Like,
but you have to understand.
Activities around the drinking is good fun.
But you have to understand, these are men who know themselves. They just...
And there are also men who just have jobs and just
right.
want to spend a day leaving their consciousness.
Absolutely. Just drinking, sneering, smoking fags, slagging the absolute shite of each other 12 hours in a row. Happy as pigs in shite.
I was on a stag recently. There was a couple of guys who didn't do any of the activities, and they were just the real like wife and 2 kids guys, normal job Monday to Friday, and we're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna fucking park up at the pub.
I'm
and just
parking up and I'm getting lamped.
Leave my problems behind.
That's where I'm gonna be happy. I don't want to go on the fucking boat.
It's sad.
Well, no, it's just, but different strokes for different folks, brother. That's what they're going to be happiest doing. Let them off do it. But at the same time, what I'm telling you is the next day, the day 2 of the stag is just like, is going to be just boozing all day. I had a show on the Sunday, so I was like, I can't do it. The day 2s, when people are like, get the cure, there is no cure for me. I am absolutely, utterly suicidal that whole day. I can't. My head is in the bin. I'm tired. I'm anxious. I find it hard to talk to anyone. I gotta just get out of there, get to a fucking couch, watch a Holocaust movie, and fucking put the day to rest. So anyway, I go back to London. Right, I do that. I watch A Real Pain, that movie, the one that Kieran Culkin won an Oscar for.
It's good.
It was grand. That's fine.
We agree on a film.
Yeah.
We agree on a film that people think is unbelievable.
It was fine.
It's nicely shot.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
It's fine.
And I like that it was short.
That's right. 90 minutes, that's the best thing about it. What's the best thing about that film? That it ended.
Quite quickly.
Quite quickly. That was sick.
It was fine. There was moments that I completely didn't believe.
Yeah.
Where it was just like, what?
Right.
He wouldn't have... Nothing about his character suggested... CMB summed it up very well.
Yeah.
The film should have been called Cunt That Needs a Slap Gets a Slap.
You know what? Here was my problem with that movie, A Real Pain. I couldn't have given less of a shit about either of the 2 main characters.
Because they're Jewish.
That's the big part of it. That's the main thing.
And of course, very anti-Semitic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like all Irish people.
Most anti-Semitic country in the world, apparently. For people who couldn't have less of like Jewish people on their consciousness whatsoever.
This is the thing about Irish people and Jewish people. Like, Ireland's so anti-Semitic. We don't even think about you, bro. Like,
no, that'd be like saying
it's just not.
Israelis are anti-Irish. No, you wouldn't think about it from one end of the year to the other. Like, I have Jewish friends, and that's who I'll think about if I'm whatever, because they're people I made friends with. All we knew growing up was the Holocaust. God, that was absolutely fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And then as a comedy fan, wow, Jewish people are amazingly
then
funny
you
and
move to
creative and
London
great.
and Jewish people tell you all the stereotypes about them. Nobody else does.
No.
Jewish people are like, people think this, people think that, and it's like, stop telling me, stop telling me, stop telling me.
We are literally not thinking about it's the most, it's almost like a cultural narcissism where it's just like, you all think this, but no, I'm just thinking, where can I get myself a laundry basket? Where does that exist? Can it be done? That's what I'm thinking. You know, is it possible for me to get shelves put in my room? Who would do that?
You got to get a collapsible laundry basket like me. I am buzzing off that.
Oh, yeah?
The bottom folds up and it slides in beside the fridge. Because the problem with laundry baskets is they're not used that often, but they take up a big chunk of room.
They do take up a lot of room.
And it slides in wherever you need to slide in.
I've already gotten this one that's not that, and it's already causing me problems in the room. It's like a little kind of a, do you know those like things they put outside of like tire shops, those men that blow in the wind and they just fall over?
Yeah.
My laundry basket's causing me all sorts of structural problems in the room. But
so I finished the...
But so here's what happened. I get back to London. I've been sick for 3 weeks. I've just gotten better. I'm up at this stag, which I have a great time, but I'm up yapping, charlied up, being harangued by a little gay dementor, but having a great time. I go back to London, whatever.
A dementor.
A dementor, you've come up with that, and again it's homophobic, and again there's a nastiness creeping up in you that we're going to have to investigate.
A gay dementor? I had to do something.
We might have to have an intervention on the podcast. We might have to get Bittlestone on or Shane Dan Byrne.
Somebody gay.
Yeah, and just to have a word with you and kind of so we can destigmatize that they're safe, they're not going to hurt you. And because you're afraid because the gays made a little page about you on the internet where they have pictures of you with your bum out and they're all talking about you jizzing on their face, and it scared you. You've become frightened of them. You have. I know you have.
They drew first blood.
They have kind of got under your skin a little bit, the gays.
They will not.
They'd love that, brother. But the Sunday, this is no joke, right? Mind you, I've been sick for 3 weeks. Sunday starts coming on. I'm going to meet my brother John. I have a gig later that evening. And I just feel the back of my throat as I swallow. It's a little bit of pain swallowing. I'm like, I'm someone who gets tonsillitis. I should have had my tonsils out as a child. My mother didn't do it. Some doctor told her not to do it. I did start blaming her on the phone recently as a 34-year-old man. I was like, why didn't you get my tonsils out? She goes, you get your tonsils out. And we had a little bit of a scrap. I don't like fighting with my mother. But she felt a bit defensive. But anyway, I feel the tonsillitis coming on. I'm like, I cannot be sick again. I can't. It's impossible. I have done 3 rounds of antibiotics this month. I cannot be sick again, right? No way.
Bro's fucked.
So anyway, I go to my brother's house. I end up feeling so tired. I was like, but it's just from the coke, the stag, everything. I cancel my gig. I was like, I actually can't do it. I'm just fucked.
Proud of you for that.
Yeah.
Mike very rarely cancels gigs.
So rarely.
I'm a big gig canceller.
You love to run away. You love to let people down. You love to...
I've grown. I used to cancel gigs quite a bit and now I just don't book them in the first place.
Yeah. You love to denigrate minority. You've become one of the nastiest little men that's ever.
Because, I don't know.
You've got so skinny and so bitchy and nasty.
I'm very stressed about everything to do with my career that I think I'm just trying to fucking torch it.
Do you think that there's something that you've become like this, just like a skinny little bitch? Like, because you've become skinny and you've definitely become sassier and meaner, and like there is.
Am I entering my bitch era?
Have you become like this little kind of emaciated
sassy bitch?
Yeah, who's just like clear eating disorder, like kind of like Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie type era of just like fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off.
Why don't you guys fuck off? You guys can suck my ass.
Friend, suck my tits.
Suck my tits, you fucks.
Suck my tits and fuck off. You can't afford to talk to me.
You fucking cunts. You little fucking bitches.
You stupid slut.
You stupid bitch. So I think that is fun if you're coming into that time of your life.
I'm not against it.
And embrace it.
I'm not against it.
But so anyway, that night, I'm up all night. I have a fever. I wake up the next morning, full on tonsillitis. Absolutely goosed.
Full-blown tonsillitis.
And lad, I can't tell you the depression I was in for the next few days. I was like, to be sick again.
I hate, but yeah, being sick is really hard.
But like proper fever.
Yeah, debilitating.
I'm
sick.
freezing.
Yeah.
I can't eat food. I'm swallowing. To go outside, I've put on 5 layers. It's sunny out and I'm shivering, right? I can't
like
do anything.
that you were quite congratulatory of yourself for having lost weight recently, but it is almost certainly just because of all.
It's
of
all
it.
illness, brother. It's all just sheer.
The only time you lose weight is
Yeah.
when your body can't consume anything.
I'm on the Black Plague diet. I'm on the rickets diet. Just these fucking Victorian child diseases that I'm picking up. But so anyway, I end up being like fucked for the whole week. I have antibiotics left over and start taking them. Can I get an appointment with my GP? Of course I cannot. We can see you next Monday in a week. I can see you for my tonsillitis that I have now. Excellent. Brilliant. Superb. Can you see why that's absolutely fucking useless to me? Absolutely useless. So then I end up going to a private doctor on the Wednesday.
Called 111.
What will they do?
The non-emergency NHS helpline. They
Yeah.
can often get you kind of walk-in appointment to get stuff like that if you're pretty confident what it is.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Right.
you went private.
I went private,
Big business.
paid some quack
Big business.
£100 to say, yeah, you should try maybe doing penicillin. Really? Is that I'm paying £100 for to do fucking penicillin, which I knew I should take anyway, you fucking cunt. Give me the prescription. I'm out of here. Idiot. Wanted it done just to fucking, yeah, looks like maybe you've got something on your throat. Yes, tonsillitis. This is why you're working in this weird little private clinic that's in the middle of a fucking shopping mall, you useless fucking... Half these doctors are so useless.
Doctors get too much respect in my
My
opinion.
God, yous are fucking crooks. They're rinsing people. They don't care. The apathy off of these GPs, these fat cat GPs who couldn't give 2 fucks about anyone. Little bellies on them. Yeah, I think you might have that. There's a prescription, £100 for me, nice. For fucking 5 minutes of non-work.
There's an honour to working in the NHS.
Yeah,
And even if they're incompetent, you can say, oh, well, the system's fucked.
right.
But these private cunts, no respect for them.
Zero, lad. And anyway, so... And then he's like, I think you might be antibiotic resistant. And I was
Which
like...
is, did you at like some moment in that think, Dees?
But, well, part of me is like, I'm an X-Man now. Like, I'm like, am I a superhero?
Am I enrolled in Charles Xavier's School for Gifted Children?
School for Gifted Children.
Is that what's happened? Am I Wolverine?
Yeah.
Are you telling me I'm Wolverine?
The worst superpower ever. I am completely immune to medicine.
Do you have a pair of sunglasses? I might need sunglasses to protect everyone from my laser vision.
My God. But so anyway, I'm taking the penicillin. It's not really working. I'm not healing. So as the week is going on, I'm just like... And this was the last time I was...
getting stronger.
I'm
No, sorry.
nothing can penetrate my illness. So I'm going to Switzerland that weekend. My voice is fucked.
Strong
But
reaction to tonsillitis.
to go to
Euthanasia.
fuck it.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. One-way ticket to Dignitas, please.
Yeah, 3 strikes, you're out. You're going to get sick 3 times in a month. That's it.
It's over. It's not meant to be.
I've had it.
We'll try next time.
That's right. Watch Nasty Character. You know what I mean? But that's the only thing I have in my suicide note.
His
Please.
next special is just him getting the lethal injection.
Yeah. But so I get to Switzerland and I wanted to talk to you about this. And by the way, we're going to get to a lot of stuff on the Patreon, kneecap, all our opinions on stuff like that. Unless you want to talk about that now, and I'll talk about my absolute fucking horrendous streak of mistakes.
We have a sponsor this week. We're
Right.
sponsored by Zach Southall Fitness, the beautiful boys that are making me apparently very homophobic.
Actually, do you know what I think about that demented gay fella now in my head? That was Zach Southall.
It wasn't.
It was, and
It
he was
wasn't.
trying to rape me. He was. Yes, it was South. Now it makes. Yes, it was Southall. That
Listen,
dirty
I've been on a
little.
good weight loss journey. I've touched the rim of a basketball.
Keep
hoop,
it clean, brother.
Of a basketball net.
Well, I tell you, who'd know all
I
about
am-
touching rims is Zach Southall,
I
one of the
am-
most prodigious fiddler of children
I am
in British history.
centimeters away from slam dunking, and you are scared of it.
No, lad. If you can slam dunk, if a fat little useless Italian cunt can slam dunk, that's going to inspire the world. That is going to be absolutely amazing. If just a stupid little, let's be honest, special needs Italian fat bastard can slam dunk.
Be so exciting.
Lad, that'll be
so
sick.
That was such a buzz. I was just sort of thought, like, while I was at basketball, I had like a layup and I went, that's pretty close to that. And then when we were on a water break, I just went for it and I was like, wow. But I grabbed the rim for the first time in my whole life.
Can you hop right now? Can you do a jump for us just to give an example?
I'm not jumping on pod. That's Patreon stuff.
Right, well, you must jump
Sign
on.
up to the Patreon to see me jump.
I would like to see you take off. But you'd probably go through that roof now, would you?
I would imagine so.
Right.
I'd be on Saturn.
You'd be like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, like just going straight, flying up through the roof.
Yeah, the glass elevator.
Yeah.
So we've had a couple people, Zach has said, that have signed up from the podcast. Shout out to you guys. Go check it out. There's free advice on there. Follow him on Instagram. All that fucking shit. I found it very helpful. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I'm imminently dunking.
Yeah.
Do you want to dunk? Have you ever wanted to dunk?
Yeah.
You know? It's on my bucket list. I'm in the prime of my life. If I don't dunk now, I'm never dunking. So I'm making it happen with the assistance of Zach Southall,
who
Fitness.
has been dunking children into barrels of his semen. Yes. Yes, he has. That's what Zach Southall has been doing. Drowning some of them, killing some of them mercilessly.
And you wanted to plug your tour dates.
I want to plug my tour dates right now. Listen, I wish I hadn't said to him, it's been a dirty one so far. I don't like how I represent myself in this podcast. I disgrace my family. But I am fucking on tour. All tickets are available now. The UK, London, Shepherd's Bush Empire, Glasgow, the Pavilion, all over the UK, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle, Sheffield, Leeds, fucking other places too. MikeRiceComedy.com.
When are your Irish dates coming?
They're coming soon, brother. Very soon. We're going to have Belfast on sale. We're going to have Kilkenny on sale, Mayo on sale. Vickers Street, Dublin is on sale right now. That's always been my dream. MikeRiceComedy.com. Have a look. I'm going most places in the UK. Get tickets. I love you. Edinburgh Fringe as well. Vito's at the Edinburgh Fringe. I think he's probably nearly sold out.
About half, but then we've added big extra shows.
Oh.
I'm doing 2 extra shows at the Edinburgh Fringe at McEwen Hall, where people fucking graduate in Edinburgh.
Mother of God.
On the 8th and the 22nd of August. So on the Fringe website, the 8th currently says
How
sold
big
out.
is that room?
900 seats.
Oh, come on.
Good bit of fun.
Get real.
Good bit of exciting fun.
That's nasty enough. It's a money grab. What the hell?
It's a cool venue. I'm very excited to play it.
Jesus.
The 8th and the 22nd of August. Get involved with those ones. Tickets are flying already. The 8th says it's sold out, but that's just the Monkey Bar one. Click through and you will see the wisdom of our Lord and Savior, me. And then I've got a couple work in progress. I've got a warm up for my special taping. That'll be on the the 17th at London Bridge and then the 19th in Borough, both in London. Those are on sale now. The ticket links will be on my website. And then I've got work in progress in London for the new show all through June. And then there'll be some more added in July. There's one in Leeds.
Oh.
I'm all over the place. We're making things happen. We're doing fun things. I'm playing a charity football match in Belfast, also at Seaview.
Nice.
Playing against people like Jermaine Pennant. Potentially Ryan Giggs is lined up to maybe play. Maybe Yap Stam.
Yeah.
All sorts of exciting things happening.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. Let's talk about Kneecap before we finish this goddamn podcast.
Yes. All right. Okay. Yeah. Now,
But that's not right because we had a little break for the microphone
we did.
fuck up.
That's right. So you give me.
Let's
I want to hear
let's
you
just
go.
talk about this whole, because people keep asking for our goddamn opinion on these boys from Belfast.
But they know our opinion. That was my point. You know
But
what
our reaction to what is happening, because
Right.
they are the most talked about band in the world right now.
Yes.
And that's crazy. And it's, for people that haven't seen it, Kneecap were performing at Coachella. The first thing that happened is their live stream got cut because they were singing about Maggie's in a Box about Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
And then they posted, which they've done at every single tour show forever. They have a projection that says, in the UK, it says the UK government is funding arms that go to Israel to commit genocide. 40,000 children have died. Fuck Israel, free Palestine. And says that they're committing a genocide, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it's a bit of advocacy, a bit of kind of activism, a bit of like, you know, solidarity, all that stuff. And they've done it they did it at Coachella. And then Sharon Osbourne,
little melted fucking doll of a person.
Face
Yeah.
looks so fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
Her
it's
face looks like
unbelievable.
you melted a bucket and welded it on to a fucking old hag's body.
It's unbelievable. So she kicks off and goes like,
a wagon.
this is a disgrace. All their visas should be cancelled.
Yeah.
It's like, right, your husband had a bat.
Yeah. That's what I love about it. You're Ozzy Osbourne's wife. Literally one of the most cracked fuckers that ever drew breath on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Literally biting the heads off of animals on stage.
This is too controversial.
Yeah.
What?
But this is the thing about these fuckers. It's like, if you don't want there to be this whole thing of like anti-Semitism, there's a conspiracy saying that Jewish people control everything. Okay, let's just say, all right, fair enough, you don't want to be promoting that. Well, then maybe when people criticize Israel or whatever, things like that, they shouldn't observably have their careers taken away, because guess what narrative that supports?
Yeah,
What
and look,
narrative does that support, do you think?
It's money and it's Zionism more than it is anything else, and all this, like, it's so fucked that, like, well, so they just basically, like, that started a chain of events where everybody all of a sudden was going like, oh, there was Kemi, it got brought up in the fucking house, like,
Cami Badenoch.
she brings it up to the Prime Minister.
She's
it's
in.
like, kneecap shouldn't be playing Glastonbury. Why are you talking about
She's
kneecap?
an old washerwoman now,
She's a fucking
Badenoch.
idiot. The Conservatives are imploding, and it's so funny.
She is
'Cause obviously Labour are very worried about like reform gains.
She's
in the
a
local elections and stuff.
wretched little
But
washerwoman.
the Tories have no idea what to do.
Sure, they haven't a clue which
They're
way is
fucked.
up.
I think they could actually be sunk. I think like the Tories might be gone for a while.
A good
which
while.
would be good, but like they have.
Well
she's
deserved.
useless. She's a nasty old character.
No, she wouldn't work to
but
warm
then
herself.
it's just like, why are you all talking about this?
Yeah, but what I love about it, and this is like, and listen, fucking, may lightning strike me for, baiting on the same point as everyone else for the millionth time. But like, the fact that you're talking about fucking Kneecap, a pair of, or a trio of mad lad rappers from Northern Ireland, also like, who are like a punk anti-establishment band,
Antagonistic, funny, satirical.
who are saying, within characters, by the way, these are thoughtful, smart guys. Kneecap is a performance, is an artistic expression, and they're on stage saying mad anti-establishment things, which fucking anti-establishment punk bands have done forever, for the history of time. And you're going to talk about that instead of the fact that there's a literal genocide that you are fucking funding happening right now. And we should be talking about a band that said some stuff. It's fucking horrific.
It's unbelievable. And
It's beyond even comprehension for like a normal, rational person. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, this is just not what, like,
fuck off.
How is this what you've, it is just a distraction, and it's so like, here's I'm trying to have like a balanced view of all of it.
Right.
Where people have big issue with them saying like, up Hamas, up Hezbollah, which is like obviously wild to say that. To say up Hamas and up Hezbollah. Like that's, but then there's sort of the argument of like the up the Ra thing of like, it is just this kind of pejorative statement of supporting the goals of these and like the anti, it's just a fuck you. A lot of it's just a fuck you.
Yeah.
And then the kill your local MP and the only good Tory's a dead Tory was the other thing that got brought up with lots of people. And then Joe Cox, and then Joe Cox's family, and then I fucking can't remember the other MP that got killed's family were like, this is disgraceful. Yeah. In the wake of that. And it's like, okay, yes, obviously to you, people, the families of MPs who were killed.
Yes.
That's an
very
awful
disturbing
thing to hear.
Yeah.
Like, in the context of Kneecap and their sort of like firebrand, like incendiary, antagonistic, satirical, comedic way of talking about things, and in the context of their gigs, in my honest opinion, saying kill your local MP is really funny. Right. And like absolutely not beyond the pale.
No, but also it's like, within the context of people in that show there who are fans of them.
And artistically, I think what it's trying to do is like the futility of, like, it's beyond the point of like write to your local MP
Yeah.
to try and like make change, because that's always the thing of like, oh, you all go to these protests but nobody writes to their local MP and nobody votes.
Yes.
And it's like there's nobody to vote for who is speaking about any of this, or like the Green Party is the only party in the UK with an active sort of pro-Palestinian or like even a policy on Gaza, on like what they think should happen and like stopping the genocide and blah 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 blah. They're the only ones. And actually, you'll like this. I was listening to a podcast with a guy who is campaigning to become the new leader of the Green Party, and I was really vibing with him because I'm very sick of like the Labour Party generally. It doesn't feel like a left-wing party. They're getting weirdly anti-immigration, all this stuff. So I'm sort of like, I guess, shopping around for like, right, well, and it does feel like UK politics is all in a mad state of like, more parties are coming into the fray. It's not just this two-party thing. It's this whole thing. So I was
Farage
listening
is rising like an old demented crow.
and he's shaking stuff up that isn't good. But like the Green Party guy was saying that like Labour have a choice to make to try and pick up some of these votes. They either lean towards reform or they lean left towards the Greens and all that stuff, and they can scoop up a lot of people that way. And it's like, we need to basically encourage Labour to
Go left.
lean left, and that'll gain them votes, blah 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 blah. And he was saying like, but the Green Party are essentially, whether they need a rebrand or not, like there's a gap for them to be an actual left-wing party in Britain. And I was listening to, God, this guy speaks a lot of sense. I like the way he speaks about stuff. He seems very passionate and very involved. And then I listened to another podcast about him rather than with him. And before he got into politics, he had a clinic on Harley Street where he would hypnotize women to make their tits bigger.
Whoa. He's a magician. The greatest kind of magician there is. One who makes women's tits. Hold on now. He hypnotized them to make them believe their tits are bigger.
That it would actually make their tits grow bigger.
So he's actually hypnotizing their
Hormones to like...
their hormones. And is this something he was pulling off? Was it reported? Was
People
this
were paying for it.
right? Okay, that's one way to skin a goose. So,
It's just so funny. There's like, oh, maybe this is my guy. Maybe this is a
so does he
politician
literally
that
have
I like.
yolk in front of their nipples, looking to my? You know what I mean? Like, and the nipples are just looking either way, like that.
Just the tits.
Yeah. What?
Isn't that so funny?
Like, women's tits think that they're chickens.
Crazy. Anyway, so I was looking at all this stuff.
Yes.
And I just think,
Yes.
so it's beyond the pale of like write to your local MP. And I think that's what Kill Your Local MP is referencing. I think it's a play on that of being like,
Yeah.
we're beyond writing to your local MP. That's a useless kind of like the wimpish, wet cloth
Yes.
attempt at any of this.
Yeah.
We need something more extreme than that. And that to me, and maybe I'm being very generous here, but like, it's like nobody at that gig is like, yes,
That's right.
I'm going to kill my local MP.
If you were someone who it was within your wheelhouse to murder a politician, you're a Travis Bickle type from Taxi Driver who wants to clean the streets, I don't think what you're lacking is just like the encouragement of a musician. Like, that's like, well, I was on the fence and then Kneecap said that, and then that's what really pushed me into being a homicidal lunatic. These are mostly, if it's in like the UK, these are lower middle class to middle class young people who are just coming out and fucking enjoying anti-establishment spirit and everything, and then going to a fucking job on Monday. These are not jubilanti. Like, these are people who can afford tickets to a music gig. Like, also, it's just...
I think there's also a perception of like, because of the way Kneecap look and talk, there's an idea of what their gigs are like, and then there's what their gigs are like.
Right.
I think people have an idea that it's actual like violent, like thuggish atmosphere where people are kind of like very pro violent republicanism and the provos and blah 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 blah, which it just really truly isn't.
Yes.
Like it's exciting and like it is anti-establishment.
Little Protestant
fellow
stuff. Opening for him. If that's not an olive branch, I don't know what it is.
Sucked.
Right. Giving bad Protestants opportunities. That's real equality.
That's affirmative action. That's DEI.
That's DEI, brother. So what I would say on it, the fact that Germany, first off, Germany What a bunch of fucking...
Germany have been cancelled gigs out the way. I'm wearing this Langham t-shirt
Yeah.
today because I knew we were going to talk about this. Langham had a gig cancelled in Germany between sound check and show,
Right.
where they were just like, no, they like Googled something and saw their like pro-Palestine stuff. I'm like, no, fuck that. And it's like, listen, Germany, I get it. You fucked up
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Right.
But this is not...
You shot the bed.
This is not the solution
You had a
to
whoopsie.
previous sins.
No.
To...
Again be on the wrong side of history.
Yeah,
Again.
crazy. Yeah, crazy.
You're going to be
Crazy, and
on
they-
the side of the genocide again.
And like, again, even-handedly, like...
you stupid fucking kraut-eating cunts.
Like, it was interesting. Like, The Rest is Entertainment, a podcast I really, really like with Richard Osman and Marina Hyde.
She is an absolute weasel. I'll say that right now.
So
Horrible.
off.
Oh.
I actually, like, having heard you talk about it and then going and listening to it, I thought they were much more like there were things she said. She obviously just doesn't like them as a band, and that's fine or
No,
whatever.
but it was the
And
condescension.
it is a condescension. Call them like stupid twats or whatever. It was just
Yeah.
like, okay. I thought Osmond came across well of like,
no, Osmond,
as someone who is just like, I think it's okay for him in his position to just be like very apolitical and be
Right.
like, they're a punk band and they're saying punk stuff and this is what they believe. And
I like Dickie Osmond. I had no
whatever.
problem with him.
Yeah. And so
It was the lady, her attitude. It stunk.
and she was very like,
talking about kneecap. I didn't like it.
yeah, and it's just a bit like,
It just felt like this
How do you
posh,
understand-
these ruffians, these
yeah, and if it
being
was like
twats.
a middle class person,
Yeah, it
you
just-
know, doing like you would say they were subverting something or being satirical or doing powerful, blah.
She just
blah, blah,
showed her
blah.
arse, her disdain. You could feel the disdain, and it was like, and it just stunk. She
Yeah.
stunk. She stunk on it.
Yeah, and I just like all this sort of blah 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 around it. And then a lot of musicians and artists came out in support of Kneecap and like signed an open letter to be like, we believe in free speech for artists and blah 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 blah. Which is interesting actually, is a thing that keeps happening where like the left and the right are learning that whatever they believe is very tainted with right, but only apply that to what we think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the right are suddenly quite anti-free speech and anti you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
When it's not what they believe in. And then the left are suddenly pro-free speech where they haven't been before.
Yeah,
And
it's-
blah, blah, blah. And they would say like advocating violence is wrong. You can't do that. And then it's like, right, but you're supporting. You know what I mean? It all just gets very
It's
like,
almost-
everyone's showing their arse.
It's almost as if people are hypocrites.
Yeah,
It's almost as if
everybody's a
everyone
hypocrite.
is a
Every
massive
single
hypocrite.
person's a hypocrite.
Now, I'm saying that, myself included, like we all contain massive hypocrisies. You know what I mean? God knows who had to die in Mexico for me to be putting Charlie up my nose in the fucking
Absolutely. And
stone
there's
age of Leitrim.
There's no way to live an entirely
Yeah.
ethical life. It just completely crumbles very, very quickly.
Yeah, but what I would say on the kneecap thing, it is like such a fucking cultural hot point. Their music is going through the roof right now.
What the fuck does anyone think they're doing?
Right.
Does anyone think they're stifling Kneecap as a band?
Yeah.
Like this is just
Gonna make them twice as big.
bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Their whole American tour is sold out.
Yeah.
They got a gig cancelled in Plymouth, so they sold out 3 at a different venue.
That's right.
And it's just like, what do you
Yeah.
think? This is all fucking like it happened 100 times.
Yeah.
It's happened 1,000 times of like whatever your parents think is like dangerous.
Yes.
It's the explicit content, parental guidance stickers,
parent
which
advisory.
they had to put on, but it just made everything seem cool.
That's
Anything
right.
with that sticker on it is the album that you wanted to buy,
Right.
Because it was like, oh, this is dangerous, this is cool, this is exciting.
And also, I think people are failing to recognize the absolute prevailing sentiment in the world right now.
Even Alistair Campbell
Right.
thinks what's going on in Gaza is fucked up.
Ali C.
Did you see that clip from his podcast?
I've been listening to his pod, so I've been listening to him.
Yeah.
And just been like,
gradually be like, I think this is crazy. And it's like, it took you a long time.
yeah.
And I don't think it's important that we don't like fucking begrudge people
No.
arriving late or whatever.
People are allowed change their opinion in real time, and it's like one of those things of like when they do, you don't go, well, it's too late now. It's like, no, bring him in. That's right.
Because he has the ears of a lot of like centrists.
Of course, and
Who would
he
be
is.
the people like I was at a Langham gig and they like spoke about Palestine and like said free Palestine and all that stuff.
But he's
and like a very English kind of centristy type person was there because they got a really good review in the Guardian. They were like, I don't really know what the relevance of that Palestine stuff was, and it's like that's the exact guy that is listening to Alistair Campbell, and it's great that he's going, no, this is beyond.
But I mean, there comes a point where when a whole city now is being starved alive, like the war crimes building up one after
and
another.
The Israeli government have openly, in like the last couple of weeks, been like, oh, we're going to up our military action in Gaza. We want to conquer Gaza. That's openly what they're going for.
Literally, their guy, what's his name, Smotrich and Gavir, the two, who are two settlers in fucking Netanyahu's government, are literally like, yeah, we're going to do what we'd always planned to now. We're going to go in and take Gaza.
That it seemed to just take Louis Theroux going out there for a lot of people to be like, and I think that is good. I think that is the sort of the power of Louis Theroux, of like, even though he makes incredible documentaries about like really difficult things, he seems to have captured the imagination of like normal people who would never be engaged in this sort of like thing.
Well, what Theroux is unbelievable at, and you got to give it to him. I mean, the way he's able to move into hostile spaces and just his little kind of concerned looking kind English head and kind of, he's just able to be places, it seems, and get people to say things. It wasn't like someone could say, oh, that thing was biased. They said it themselves.
Yeah.
He got them to say it. He wasn't asking, it wasn't like
asking the
Palestinians. They said it themselves. They said what they planned to do. They said what they were doing. Yeah. They were saying, okay, we know it's against law, but there's something more important than the law. You know, our fucking, the Talmud or the Old Testament of the Bible or whatever the fuck. And there's just no denying it.
Yeah.
She's leader of the settler movement. She says, she knows, oh yeah, Netanyahu is very happy about this. He can't say it publicly, but, and he's like, and do you have a direct line to him? She's like, yeah, I do, to his aides on my phone. And it's just like, oh, okay, good. Not that we all didn't know that. Anyone who really, is in any way on top of it knows it. This was always the plan.
Yeah. And I think it's very like daunting to feel like you have to be on top of it to talk about it. And then,
have you been there? Have you even been there?
Yeah, but all that stuff. And it's like, it is a divisive topic, and there is anti-Semitism, and that's an issue, and it's a problem. But it's just not like, there's anti-Semitism and people feeling nervous in the West where they live in like kind of demonstrably quite safe places, and then there's people being ethnically cleansed out of an area, and that's like, there's one that's a priority, and I'm not saying throw the baby out with the bathwater and we should just like allow the rise of anti-Semitism to kind of boil over into like any dangerous stuff. I actually think it's probably overstated the amount that is at risk of boiling over, but I don't think those concerns should be completely like fucked off or whatever. Not
completely, but to put it even in the same fucking universe as an issue as to what's happening to the Palestinians.
Well, you just have to look at all the Jewish activist groups that are... and the protests in Israel. I'm not even talking about like, I have a problem with every Israeli citizen.
Yeah.
Because some of them are fucking...
But they're
completely against their own government, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Of course they are. Netanyahu was a whisker away from getting fucked out of government before October. October 7th could not have come at a better time for that cunt. He was done. Up for corruption. 500,000 people in the streets protesting him. He's an absolute nightmare. That is the only reason. He doesn't want this war to end.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's fucking cooked when the war ends.
Yeah.
This couldn't be more... This cunt propped up Hamas. He gave money to Hamas. He's the one who kept them there. Like, if you go into it, it's the beyond fucking goose. And I realise we haven't been funny in about 20 minutes, but you know what? By God.
It's very fucked, and I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is the difficult thing of like we could do, like I have a TV thing coming up, and I have a fucking Artists for Ceasefire badge that I wore at an event before. And I'm a bit like, I could piss off the BBC and wear it, but like...
Right.
What's that doing? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? gonna do other than just like. But then it's like I don't want to. There's comedians who like post about it every day, and you're like, right, is this our place or is this what we're doing? Like, I just don't know what to do about any of it. What is our? And we raised a bunch of money, and that's good, and we can probably do that again. But then it's just like.
We could do that
it
again.
It feels like good
Maybe
money
we'll do that
after
again.
bad, but it's like, what are we? We're funding the doctors, and it's just like,
right,
good or whatever. Like, it's just such a fucking. I feel completely paralyzed to.
Here's
make a meaningful impact.
I think in my mind, and this is not even a defeatist way of looking at it, but like, you know, the Israeli government, they have the UK government by the balls and the American government by the balls, and they. Particularly America, are the most powerful people on earth.
Yeah.
And they're standing behind you, their government's supporting you, giving you weapons, you've gotten by the nuts. What do the Palestinians have behind them in that same regard?
Kneecap.
They've got Kneecap, they've got the Mary Wallopers on side.
Lankum.
They've got Lankum right there with their fiddles and their... So,
I don't know how much any of those dorks would be used on the front line.
Right.
But they're certainly behind the...
Yeah.
You know?
But
and
so,
I count myself in those dorks.
Yeah.
Like, don't send me there to fight the IDF. That's not going to go well.
No. They make fucking...
I'll be killed by a 19-year-old from Brooklyn immediately.
Absolutely. Fucking big fat gay head blown off. But then it's just like, how can you win? There's no winning.
And how do you like to...
The might that's against you.
A tax boycott? A tax strike? Do we all just not pay our taxes until they stop funding it?
I don't
then
know.
We're all like, they can't arrest all of us, but then it's like, could we organize and actually make that happen? I don't know. Far too many people have their taxes just taken out of their paycheck.
Right.
Like, you would only be able to do it if it was like all self-assessed people, you know, like self-employed, like doing your own tax return and just being like, no. And not even like maybe, I don't know, you donate all your tax money to just medical aid for Palestinians or UNRWA or whatever it is. And do that. I don't fucking know, but it feels like so many of the charities are just like, this is happening, let's help get people out. Like, a lot of the charities are like, get people out of Gaza.
Well, at
and it's
this
just
point,
like, do we just go... But that just feels like completely conceding to an effort of ethnic cleansing, and then that area is ethnically cleansed.
Right. And that is what's happened. And what's happened has been a horror. And then you have... sometimes I don't even think we can comprehend. You have a group of people who don't like, it's not a war. It's not like they have an army fighting an army. It's like this kind of insurgents who are maybe like, where we can't see them and they're just being bombed indiscriminately near. It's not even a war, but it's like against this tiny population, America is like, it's so unbelievably lopsided. It's just absolutely crazy and insurmountable, and you're watching as being in the West, but the West, the governments we're paying tax to, they're the ones funding it. Like, it's you know, all you can do is go to Leitrim, do cocaine and try not to shag a gay fella. You know,
at the end of the day,
that's the best you
that
can do.
Is the solution.
We got to get out here and go to the Patreon. That's probably the most serious ranting we've ever done. We'll see. Maybe we'll get Cumberland to cut that out. Maybe that'll upset people.
What about that would upset people? Like, I can't make it clear enough that we don't have anything against Jewish people. Like, we make jokes about fucking everybody, and it's like I think anti-Semitism is horrible and obviously has led to some of the most horrible things that have ever happened in history.
Of course, but this is what I'm saying.
Fucking a community that have been consistently just fucked historically by so many different groups that I get. Right. I get that you're like nervous that that's happening again, and any rise of that is very, very scary to you.
It is.
But this is just...
But
this isn't what's happening. We're not being anti-Semitic. We are calling out like dictatorial, genocidal... attempted ethnic cleansing.
And also, look at the biggest critics of Israel in the world. Noam Chomsky, Gabor Mate, Norman Finkelstein, Dave Smith, at this point, all fully Jewish people. Yeah. So these people are like, it's anti-Semitic. Don't fucking piss in my pocket and tell me it's raining. We're not stupid. It's It's nothing against Jewish people.
Yeah.
It's against murdering fucking children. Fuck off.
Some of my best agents are Jewish.
Brother. Right, lads. Patreon. I've never
It'll be
made more
better,
mistakes.
Crack. It'll be better, Crack.
I've never made more mistakes in my life than I did in Switzerland this last weekend. It's classic me being an absolute, like, yeah, just man with severe issues. And I met a lady who had snakes. Listen, Patreon, sign up.
I didn't meet a lady who had snakes.
You didn't?
I didn't know. Which is a real shame, actually.
That's 500 weekends in a row you've not met a lady
I'm
with
wasting my
snakes.
time on this earth.
What are you doing, brother? Get real.
Fuck's sake.
We'll see you on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/parenting. I don't know if you've noticed, we don't get very many sponsors. Help. And sign up online. Sign up on your browser rather than through the Patreon app on Apple, because Apple charge you extra. So there's a little cheaper Patreon version for you, because we're good like that.
We love you.
See you later. Come see us on
Bye,
tour.
bye, bye, bye.